aboard to the Didn't Really Name It show. Today marks the episode 19 for this show, and I'm really thankful to you guys who watch or listen to these episodes. In this episode, I'll be interviewing Sara Dietschy, rhymes with Peachy, and this one was really close to my heart because this show was inspired by That Creative Life, which is hosted by Sara. Sara Dietschy is a YouTuber and content creator based in Dallas, Texas. With over 835,000 subscribers on her self-titled channel, Sara creates and uploads docu-series, tech reviews, and vlogs. Sara also hosts That Creative Life, which is a daily YouTube show and podcast about all things tech and creativity. Sara has interviewed heavy hitters like Mark Zuckerberg, Gary Vaynerchuk, MKBHD, and Peter McKinnon. In today's show, we'll be talking about her multiple outlets for inspirations for her creations. We'll be talking about mistakes that newbie creators make. We'll also be talking about a broader form of expansion within the creator economy for both the creators and the job market within it. And finally, we'll talk about the Metaverse and a lot more. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos like this. Welcome aboard to the Didn't Really Name It show, Sara Dietschy. It's an honor to have you on the show. Probably waiting for this moment for the past 2 years, and you're here. So excited.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, an honor and a pleasure. I'm stoked to talk.
All right. Sara Dietschy, that's a very interesting name you got there, but do you know the meaning of the name in Arabic? Do you know the meaning of Sara in Arabic?
I don't.
It means a person who brings happiness and joy. So I just wanted to begin from there.
Oh,
So,
that's amazing.
I think it summarizes you perfectly.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That is so nice. No pressure. Got to bring a lot of joy on this pod.
Yeah, and a lot of happiness. Both things. That was mentioned in the translation, so I had to put that there. Anyways.
Love it.
So, Sara, let's go back to 2011, right? It's the year of Rebecca Black Friday. My ears are still in vain, still in pain. And you start making your videos. So, we're going to start with a really generic question that you are probably asked 100 times. Why did you start making them? Why?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, it started with a very practical reason. So I played guitar, and I was always buying and selling guitar equipment, whether it was pedals, amps, guitars, all of the things. And I would always do the Craigslist deals, and basically I had a pedal to sell. And there was this awesome forum called thegearpage.net, which I was obsessed with. Like every night I would be on there from midnight till 2 or 3 a.m. just going through all this guitar gear. And basically what I had a guitar pedal I had to sell, and I was like, man, okay, there's this thing called YouTube where you can upload your video and basically embed the URL into forums, because everyone was doing forums then. And so I basically used it just as a utility. I was looking at it as another photo bucket or stuff. If anyone remembers Photo Bucket for MySpace, is a way to get pictures up. And so I basically posted a video. I made it good. I grabbed my dad's Canon T3i and I played this pedal. I played some songs, showed the different features, uploaded it to YouTube, and I thought it was just going to be the people on the forum watching it, but it turns out many more people watched it. So that was my first video, September 2011. And then I kind of just posted random things for the next few years. And then once things, I saw that, okay, people search for things here. This is an actual thing. I like to make videos. Let's try to do more of this. That's when I started taking it seriously in 2014, 2015, started posting consistently. And then I basically had a breakout video at the same time that I had a residency with Adobe, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, we're talking about the Casey Neistat video.
Exactly.
By the way, if you've probably guessed, most of the creators in India who are inspired to be a vlogger first, they have a look at Casey first.
Yeah.
And, we've seen the New York energy radiate from both your vlogs, from Casey's vlog and your vlogs. It's just we've talked about this right before the podcast. It's a surreal feeling to be here. All right, let's go to the next question that I do not know the answer of exactly. So you've switched from a very traditional form of, let's say, educational journey, from going to be a computer science engineer and getting a possibility to earn a stable income I'm not saying you're not earning a stable income to being a creator and formulating that income from ground up, right? Why did you make that decision of not going through a stable route, much stabler route, right?
Yeah, so I was in school for double E, and then I switched to computer science. And for me in high school, that was the stable route for sure. But once you start pursuing that, and you're like 3 years in, and you realize, oh, I don't think anyone wants to have me work on the electric of their house, wants me to build a program for them, because I was 3 years into a college degree and still felt like I knew nothing. Everything I was learning was super abstract, and I hated it. Like, I hated it. So for me, it no longer felt stable. I had zero confidence in myself that I could go and be a valuable employee with the skills that my college was teaching me. So when I was doing this thing on the side that I felt fairly confident and excited about, that, it wasn't like, oh, this is stable and that's not stable. It was more about, oh, there's no way I can do this. I can't do this for another year. There's no way I can do this for a career. So I have to go with something that I'm actually passionate about. And I know that word is like way overused. You just have to find what you're passionate about. But the reality is, if you like something, it's probably not going to last for all eternity, but it gets you past those long days where you have to do whatever you can to learn to build. And, then you build up skill sets that then can set you up for the future, and you can hire people to help you. But for me, it was just like there was no option. I was so obsessed with video, and I saw some indications that I was good at it, and I was like, this is the only option. I know it seems like it doesn't, it seems like a big leap, but at that time I was like, there's nothing else in the world that I could be doing right now, so why not give it my all,
I think it's a big leap when you consider that you still didn't make a mind when you switched from double E to CS, and then you realized that it was abstract. I think it was a leap of faith. I don't think it's not.
Yeah. I mean, it was, the world says don't do it. The world says you can always go back. The world says, YouTube, what the heck is that? Because that was, was it 2015 when I dropped out of college? Or 2016, somewhere around there. And, YouTube was a thing, and people were slowly making it a job, but it wasn't like it is now. Like, people now approach YouTube as like, oh, this could be my career, which was very foreign even just five or 6 years ago. So there was definitely a lot of outward pressure, but for me, I was like, I don't have any other option. I owe it to myself to at least try doing this. And when you have no other options, it's sink or swim, and I swam.
It gets easier, you would say?
Yes. I mean, nothing is like the uncertainty of the beginning, not knowing, what your next step is or where your next subscriber is coming from. But I will say in the beginning, you're so blinded by just like the optimism from it all, because it has to work. Like in my brain, I was like, there's no option. I just have to put one foot in front of the other. It has to work. Now it's about maintaining, which can be scary, but it's more out of like, okay, I'm comfortable doing these things. Creative work is always a challenge, so no matter what, you're always going to feel challenged. You're always going to feel like there's more to do, so that never leaves you. But it's just different. I don't know if I would say like harder or easier. I would just say it's just different.
It's a different kind of
different muscle that you're flexing.
Yeah, I think that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. And when you're talking about beginning your journey, I think the question that came on my mind when we're talking about that is, how does this affect, what kind of stuff do the newbie creators today in 2022, what mistake do they make what mistakes can they probably make which would affect them in the long term, be it the kind of motivation that they have for creating or anything. What kind of mistake they would probably do? I'm not saying what anyone would do, but
I think I mean, I think the biggest mistake that you can make in the beginning is assigning monetary values to things. You know, thinking, oh, I want to be a YouTuber because I want to be rich. I want to be a YouTuber because I want followers. I want to be a YouTuber because I want to be famous. Like, the adding those things can come, but starting with the superficial side of it is always a disaster, because you don't start with the video. You don't start with the whole point of creating. You're not thinking of making first, and you're gonna get so burnt out if the first thing that doesn't come to your mind is just like, I am so excited to make this video. I am so excited to film this. I'm so excited to edit this. How can I make this better than my last one? That should be, your only focus. And, once you get momentum, then you gotta kind of kick into business gear and figure out how to make it sustainable. And that is super challenging. But in the beginning, I mean, even sometimes now, like John and I, my fiance, who is also a YouTuber, we will like nostalgically kind of look back to the beginning days, because the only thing that mattered was creating, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of just, it was a side hustle that was a main hustle kind of, but it changes along the way, and you have to learn different skills along the way. But I would say just the biggest mistake is just putting all of this pressure on it to be this big thing. And, if you don't have millions of subscribers, you're failing. Putting that amount of pressure on someone who is creative, who has to wear a ton of different hats in the process, on top of all those different creative hats that you have to wear, is a recipe for disaster. You will burn out very quickly.
Yeah, that's a good tip for the newbies. But now that just the kind of thing that we're talking about, the flexing of muscle, a different kind of muscle. Right now, the different kind of muscle that you're approaching is making this team and making this team work, and bringing creative video editors, be it creative writers. There are so much things moving now. So many things moving. These are moving pieces for your channel. So we're gonna talk about how you're doing this, how someone could replicate that. I know it's a different process for each creative. For instance, Linus, he can outsource the video edit to his video editor, and he's happy with it. But I know that you have a very difficult process with that. So how did you finally come in terms with, okay, this is how I'm gonna approach with being a creator and having that creative domain and hiring someone for that position, be it video editor, be it a script writer?
When you've been making videos solo for over a decade, it's always so hard to let go. I think delegation is something I've that's the biggest thing I've struggled with. I've never struggled with like ideas for videos. I've never struggled with filming or editing, but you do hit a point where like you want to do more, you want to make more, you want to make better, and then you have to you have to have help with that. So I mean, I would say right now I've hit a stride for the first time ever, just because I took it seriously. It was I feel like it was kind of probably a pride thing, but also a logistical thing in the beginning. When you're so busy making videos, it's so difficult to like go through a proper hiring process and really figure out who has the skills, who understands your style, because it is so personal. Like the edit is so personal to me, since that's what I do, right? Yeah. So after I had my like 10-year anniversary of my YouTube video, making YouTube videos, I was like, okay, this is my only focus, because if I'm gonna like expand and do different projects, I have to get help. Like it's not helpful for me to sit there for 2 hours doing jump cuts of me talking for 40 minutes. It's not helpful to sit on the music and like find music for hours. It's not helpful for me to blah blah blah. But the edit, there is a lot that you can do with the final edit. Once most of the pieces are put together by another editor, you can still have creative control, you can still have final cut, you can still take that decade of experience and restructure videos in a faster way when you're able to have someone doing a first and second cut, and you just taking the final cut. And Linus is different because he's a writer. So in the beginning, he was already delegating everything creatively, and it was easy, but the writing, and he was obsessed with the writing. And even for him, when he would hire other writers, he would always have the final say on the actual script, right? But he lets go of the filming and the editing and all of that. So I'm kind of the equivalent of that, but to editing. So I just kind of took a similar approach. I was just like, okay, just focus up on this. It's the only thing that matters. I just started to like fire faster and hire faster. That's like a good Gary Vee advice. Hire fast, fire fast. And I found someone super talented. Kyle, who's been editing with me, I found him actually on Fiverr. And he was one of the cheaper editors I've ever hired. And, once I saw that he had the chops, there was still some stuff to work on, but, we like went back and forth with videos for, a solid month. And then I was like, hey, like, you're doing, great. Let's get your pay to what I was paying the other editors. And I've been using him for like 5 or 6 months now, and it's been really great. So I have an editor that helps me now. I have a full-time employee that helps me with like filming and running errands and doing some initial copy for brand deals and stuff. And so I'm definitely in a better place than I've been. 2 people in my operation isn't as impressive as like a Linus that has 30 people, but for me it's just baby steps, and it works for me. And I'm excited to grow from that.
Yeah.
So I've actually progressed.
Yeah, that's what matters. That's what truly matters is you expanding, and it should be going on. The momentum should be there, and it's there. So if it's working, we're gonna talk a little bit about. We're gonna come back to the creative domain of things, but right now we're gonna talk about money. Let's talk about money.
Yeah.
Money. How can someone make money in the creator economy without being a creator? I know that we covered some of it just now, but how do you think someone can start? Because I think we had a call around 4 months ago where we talked about you do not need to be a creator to create money in the creator economy. Yeah. So how do someone begin in that?
There's so many opportunities with being an actual YouTuber and being in that space. There's a lot of work involved, but there's also a lot of like serendipity and, dare I say, luck. I don't want to say it's all luck, because we have the Mr. Beast of the world that just power through it, and it's like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber and that's all that matters, and gosh darn it, he did it. So there's definitely a way to like brute force your way to be a YouTuber, but it also takes like so much time and patience and determination, right? And in the meantime, while maybe you're working up to that, or if you're a creator, there's a lot of ways to be involved in that world without showing your face, without being the on-camera personality, without like sacrificing maybe privacy. There's so many reasons why being behind the camera actually might be the better option for a lot of people. And just as I'm building out my team, there is so much, like being a manager on the business side of things, being an editor, being a filmer, being a writer. I'm still looking for a writer for my team, and no one has. I found one really good fit, but he already has like a good full-time job that he doesn't want to leave, which is kind of a bummer. But there's so many positions that I need to fill, and over in the States, it's like good salaries, like I would argue even better than what an agency would pay you. So, and if you're in the international audience, there's a lot of YouTubers who do use these services like Fiverr and Upwork and stuff like that. And I went to Fiverr when I was like going through, I went through like 5 or 6 different editors, never had the best experience. And I was like, I'm just going to try one of these marketplaces. Like, I've never tried it before. I think there's this feeling of like, oh, because it's cheaper, it's bad. No, it's just the people who want it. And those are the people that you want, right? And so if you are that creator who has some skills, you can edit, you can write, man, start on Fiverr. There's tons of people going there looking every day, to work and to find work. And Fiverr, Upwork, there's a few others, but that's such a great place to start, and you never know how that will snowball into like a full-time job or a full-time like part-time, you know, with creators. And then it's very word of mouth. So, you know, if you can crush it for one person, you can crush it for other people, and you know, you can start your freelancing empire. I mean, it's huge. YouTubers are always looking for talent, always.
I've personally expanded from Fiverr to this word of mouth, this connection. I believe in this connection, and
and people think, oh, you know, I don't want to do it because I don't want to just be on Fiverr. I'm like, guys, Fiverr is like top of the funnel. You get your initial clients, and then you just expand from there. You don't have to be on Fiverr forever, but it's an amazing place to start.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to start. I think I started on Upwork first, then I went to Fiverr. Never got anything on Fiverr, I believe, but on Upwork there were some clients. Then word of mouth and Twitter. I think Twitter is the best thing, and the reason why we are speaking is Twitter. That random ass video with me in the suit in the same setup.
Yeah.
That's because of that. I believe in
it's
Twitter.
Funny, yeah.
So I think that really helped. I guess that's the kind of things. If someone wants to begin, I think they can do that.
Twitter's great for networking.
It's amazing. Let's talk about expansion. When is the right time for a creator to expand into a team, apart from the video editor, a creative, and a writer? But more on the marketing and ideation team. When is the right time? I've seen it vary from people hiring at 100K or people hiring at 2 million. When is the right time?
I think it's unique to where you're at. What type of videos do you actually make? I mean, for me it's like all about YouTube and the algorithm. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be me who's coming up with the concepts and, you know, the final title and thumbnail. So for me, even at where I'm at, that's not something that I really even consider. For me, I just need more people to help me make stuff. So it's like I need people with hard skills, you know. I need to be able to have someone where I don't have to explain how to film or edit or shoot or write. They just need to like show up and do it and help me make, you know, videos quicker, go from point A to point B. So I think there's a ton of people who hire like YouTube specialists and all of that stuff. And I know it does work. Like I know Daryl Eves does a lot of that. And it can help people's channels explode. And you also have to have the self-awareness of like what you want. I'm good, you know, I'm good with like slow and steady, right? And I know there's always more things I can do, and I can focus more on thumbnails and titles, but it's this one is like a personal decision, right? And it's also, you have to have like the money to do it. It's also expensive.
Let's talk Metaverse. Starting with experience with Mark Zuckerberg, and how was it? Like, Mark, Zuck boy, let's go.
I know, yeah. I mean, it was crazy. It was one of those things where, like, definitely, you know, right before just, like, sweating bullets. But once you get to talk to him, it's like, I know it's weird to say, but it really does feel like you're just talking to, you know, another person who builds stuff. So it was really cool to chat with him. And, you know, for me, it was one of those things that I was like, should I even do this? I feel like a lot of people hate him. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know, I have questions I want to ask him. So I'm just going to go in and ask the very specific questions that I want to know. And hopefully people will enjoy that. And it turns out they did, you know?
Yeah, I saw your video not by my notification or my recommendations, but through a tweet co-tweeted by Balaji. I was like, Balaji just retweeted Sara Dietschy's video.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And I see Mark. That was a surprise. And
we've tweeted back and forth several times.
It's just awesome. And like you talked about a lot of stuff in the creator economy for Web3. Oh my god, I'm just tired of the Web3, and I'm just tired of seeing my Ethereum dip. It's so bad.
I
But
know it's kind of painful right now, but I think when things go down, when things hurt, that's when you eradicate a lot of the scammers and the people who have no business in these actual industries, because when everything's up and it's perfect and people are making money, that attracts, I think, the wrong type of person. So I love drawdowns like this because it means the people who are building things are the only ones that actually care, who actually understand and want to be a part of this no matter what. So it's painful to see those amounts going up and down. I definitely understand that. But, this is probably my third or fourth time feeling the burns. So I'm like, oh, I've seen this before, right?
This is my second time, by the way. I'm hodling it. It's my second time.
Nice. Heck yeah.
All right. Metaverse. I had a question. Like, I was thinking about it. In the interview, he talked about how he wanted to integrate NFTs into the Web3 platform. But we never got to talk about traditional video content creators in the NFT space, in the Metaverse. We're going to have a difficult question here. How do you think we can expand into that? Us, traditional video creators, expanding into the Metaverse. How do you think will happen? What do you predict?
I think it's definitely going to be a lot of waiting. It's kind of like, I think things that are similar, TikTok, when that was Musical.ly, you heard a lot of buzz around it. It really didn't fit the style of videos I was making, but you kind of just like sit and watch, right? Mm-hmm. And then you just decide like, hey, is it worth it for you to make the move? So realistically, a year ago, it matured. People were using it as really great ways to move their audience to YouTube and other platforms and build, an even bigger online audience. But when YouTube is such already a great place for commerce, for making money, for building a business on the back of it, that these platforms really have to incentivize, not just, and that's why I kind of pushed him on his question at the end when I asked about sharing ad revenue, because you can't just like add commerce features like subscriptions or merch. You can't just put it all on the creator and then say, hey, we're going to take a cut of that. I'm not a big fan of that, because that's asking the creator to do all of the work and then the company's saying, hey, we're going to take a big slice of that. When YouTube does a lot of the work, they go get advertisers, right? And all you have to do is press a button for monetization, and then you get half of that ad revenue. And we know the Metaverse, or whatever the hell it's going to be, is going to be littered with ads. And, the fact that Facebook and Instagram still doesn't have a good program for ad share. Facebook started, and there's a select few that do, but it's not as widely used as YouTube, and they don't share as much revenue as YouTube. I think YouTube kind of is the golden standard for that. So that's what I'm mostly concerned about is, listen, there's going to be a ton of monetization options in these new platforms, but as you can see with TikTok, even TikTok, they just do the creator funds. Hank Green just had a really good video about this, where creator funds is not the same as YouTube AdSense. When YouTube grows, also the creator's cut of AdSense grows, because they're helping build that platform. When TikTok grows, the creator fund stays the same. So when TikTok grows, the TikTok creators actually get paid less because the pool increases. So I don't know how video creators are going to integrate in this world, but if they want to make it attractive, you have to, the memberships and direct payments and all of that, that's just a slice of the monetization. If there's going to be ads plastered everywhere, you got to have some sort of ad share program in order to attract really talented content creators.
Thank you for answering that. I was having the same questions with the Shorts fund that we have right now for YouTube and how they're going to do it. And so many people are asking this question about the revenue from the Shorts. It's Wild West for short format content right now. I guess that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and I mean, short form content, it's harder to put ads in front of it because you're getting less value, right? When you watch like a 15-minute tutorial and you're invested and you're on your desktop computer, or it's so much easier to watch 1 or 2 ads or 3 ads per video. feel like you're getting enough value, and also you're looking at your phone, you're looking at your computer, you're not like wandering off. But with short form content, you maybe have one ad per 4 videos that you scroll. So I understand the economics aren't the same because it's not the same level of attention, but I think you just kind of have to work backwards with those things. And I think YouTube will figure out with the shorts, I'm sure they'll figure out ad placement, and it'll be way less CPMs, right? But I hope it just expands from beyond the creator fund.
Yeah, they have to replicate the magic that Instagram Reels and Snapchat. Oh my, Snapchat. I think both of them, Snapchat has the most success in the short format content industry. So I think they will probably do something along that lines. Sorry, I know that we do not have a lot of time, so we're gonna run through past these questions now. All right. Between by the way, now we're jumping back. Hey yo, what's up?
My cat just came in.
Let's go. That would be awesome.
There might be some meowing in the background.
All right. Let's talk about, like, we're getting back to the creative side of things. Between the act prep and English essays about the relevance of irrelevant books, you kept your sanity by playing the guitar. How was the process of getting into music?
I mean, it was one of those things that, I mean, I'm always just kind of gravitating towards what I'm curious about, and it leads me down the craziest rabbit holes. So music was just, it seemed so cool, it seemed so fun. In 6th grade, I had my first guitar lesson and I just freaking fell in love. So it was just my creative outlet for middle school through high school, and it just kind of saved me. It was an escape. It was an obsession. It started my love for just equipment and gear and trading, and like, oh my gosh, okay, this guitar is going to be more valuable than this, and this amp is going to be, I love rabbit holes. I love creative rabbit holes. So that was kind of one of those first pursuits, and it led me to a lot of cool creative things. And I wouldn't be doing video today without music. So even though I don't play as much anymore, I definitely contributed to like why I have everything that I have today, which is crazy. A lot of creators you'll find have a musical background.
Kitty in the cam now. What's up, Judy? Anyways.
Yeah, we got Judy here with us now.
Do you believe that some people just aren't creative?
I think it depends. I mean, I think you can be creative in everything that you do. And so I think people, maybe think of creative people as traditionally video editors and painters and artists and all of these different things. But, some of the creative people I know aren't that. They're people in my family who have normal jobs, who have to be creative at home, whether it's like cooking or family solutions or anything. So I believe everyone has a capacity to tap into creativity. I think the biggest thing is, can you make a living off of that? I think that's the hardest thing, because usually turning something that you have fun doing into a job is both the most rewarding thing, but can also ruin that thing. So I think people also have to kind of take a step back and say, hey, do I even want to make this a job? I think it's okay to keep creative endeavors and hobbies as hobbies. In a certain way, they almost stay like more pure, and you can just enjoy them. There's no pressure to make money off of them. But then if you want to go big in life, and I think you owe it to yourself to at least try. If that thing, you find yourself obsessed with it, and you find you have some talent, and you can take that a very long way, because there are people in those fields that don't like that but are making it as a job, so there's a ton of YouTubers who hate video editing and filming, and they're making a lot of money, but they're miserable. So if you can come in and you love all those things and you're good at it, that's a good recipe for greatness, I feel like. So yeah, I think you have an option. You just keep it your hobby, and that is A-okay, and live your life. It's I hate to repeat freaking Gary Vee, but that self-awareness key is so key, you know? You just have to know if it's worth it, if it's worth the late nights, or if you're a 9-to-5er and you want to come home and just enjoy your hobbies and watch TV and hang out with your family, you know? Both are good. Both are okay.
Yeah, it's okay to do both. I think that's a good answer. Quick ones here. Do you remember performing at the Profits Bar?
Oh, yeah. Profit Bar in Deep Ellum. That's where I basically played with my band in high school, and it was like, see, that was fun. I always knew music could never be my career, but that was just pure fun. Being on stage, you know, performing songs that you personally made with a band, like there's no other feeling than that. I still haven't been able to replicate that feeling. Those are like great times, good times.
So, talking about the bad habits, how has it helped you in your creative journey?
Yeah, I think just building, you know, you learn how to collaborate with people, and you learn how to just cooperate with other creators and compromise. And, you know, you can't always get your way, but when you are in a room and you all bring your own talents and ideas, and you make a thing that then other people can enjoy, that at the base is like, that is what I do every single day, you know. And if you can conquer that, and if you can practice us, you know, that was in my high school years. I feel like I was training for what I do as a job now, then that's huge.
The last one. This one, I think you do not have an answer for, but let's see. From doing creative spaces to working on relaunching That Creative Life podcast, doing a retro tech episode with Marcus Brownlee, collabing with Moment. How do you manage all of this stuff?
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's chaos. It's pure chaos all the time. There's a ton of balls in the air, and some balls drop and some balls get caught.
That's the answer I was expecting. But hey, it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Probably we would have something on the lines of I was following Ali Abdal's productive routine, but
yes.
Yeah.
I am not Ali Abdal. He's more productive than I am.
That's the wrap of the podcast now. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Sarah, did you?
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It was good chatting.
It really means a lot. And I think that's really it.
Amazing.
We're going to wrap this up. Take care now.
Heck yeah.
And subscribe, you guys. We're going to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Epic.
Bye-bye. Are you tired of waking up late at 11 a.m. and feeling unorganized? Are you feeling burnt out from all the stuff that is going on all at the same time? Are you annoyed about not getting more than 5 kills in Halo? Meet Afan. He's a computer science engineer who will be graduating in a couple of months. He can organize your day before you even wake up at 11 a.m. He can answer phone calls and take notes during meetings. Ooh, he really loves doing that. He's good at editing videos. And also, he can be your wingman and help you get more than 5 kills in Halo. And finally, this website, saradietschy.com, is his gift to you, delivered straight right into your inbox. But in all seriousness, I've been following you ever since 2015, and your journey is nothing else but inspiring. I'll be graduating this September, and all I ask is for a shot to do an internship for you. Thank you for watching.